Welcome back to the channel. We're back at Harmon Golf Club. We'll be playing the yellow tees today. This is one tee up from the black tees from the previous episode. So this first hole is only 320 yards, par 4. Just hitting a 4-iron, try to get it out there about 200 yards. Didn't hit that great, but it did the job. It was right down the middle here. And you'll see here in a second, I'm right by the 100-yard cap. It says we have about 110 to the pin, which I'll show you here in a second. There you go. I was right in between a 56 and a 52, so I took the 56 to find the middle of the green rather than kind of pin chasing with a 52 that could ring in the back rough and spell a bogey for sure. But this did leave me quite a bit of a putt here. 35 feet up the hill, right to left. For whatever reason, I'm aiming at the pin, and I pulled it, and so I wind up like a good 6 feet away. So not a good effort there. So now we got to clean up for par. I see this as a little bit outside right of the hole, and hit it, and it turns and goes right in. So that was a great result. Good par there on number 1. Moving on to the second hole, par 4, 390 yards from these tees. Through the fairways, 260 to the water. So I opted for 3-wood. We had a lot of rain. The fairways were wet and not running, but I pulled this, and I will turn it over to my in-round commentary. So this is where we wound up. I'm gonna take a drop. See if I can thread it under that limb. All right, so we have to take a drop here. Make sure it's knee-high, guys, right? All right, 7-iron from 145. That's the 7-iron to keep it under that tree limb. Also need to get it over a pond. I think the pond was 110, 120 to carry. So I accomplished both of those. I do push it a little right, so I'm in the rough here. But it should be a straightforward up and down, and I kind of flubbed that. So now I left it about 4 or 5 feet short. And I thought this was the same putt as I had on number 1, so I played it out to the right, and it didn't break in. So we'll have to tap in here for bogey on number 2. Moving on to the third hole, 140 yards. I'm hitting a kind of a choke down 9-iron, take a little bit off of it. A nice smooth swing, and this was a really good strike. So it's just left of it. But you'll see here in a second, it was only 6 feet left of it. And the pitch mark was just about a yard short. So this green slopes back to front. So I'm aiming left, playing left to right, and that thing just hung out to the left. It honestly just baffled me. I don't know how it hung out there. Maybe it was the grain of the grass held it. I'm not sure. Anyway, moving on. Hole 4, par 4, 317. So this is a much shorter hole now. I can hit driver. I have a lot of room up the right there. That's where I'm aiming, and I hit this a little further right than I wanted to be, but I'm still fine. By hitting driver here, I've essentially taken the water out of play. See, the water's over the bunker to the left there. I would have seen that on my approach if I didn't hit driver up here. So now I just have 90 yards, simple shot with a 56, kind of a not a great lie, but I was able to kind of get it on there. And guys, I just opted to do the zoom in instead of the shot tracer. Let me know what you think about that. These shorter shots, sometimes it's easier to see it that way than just simply a shot tracer drawing it. So this was a decent result. I'm probably about 15 feet away for birdie, down the hill, right to left. Just didn't hit it hard enough, so we just have to tap it in here for a par on number 4. Moving on to hole number 5. This is a very short par 5, only 440 yards here. Trying to hit a little draw. Started at that shack up in the middle there, but instead I kind of hit a little fade that went back towards the shack. So unfortunately, this will go a little bit through the fairway. You'll see here in a second, I have a 7-iron from 152. So I only have 152 left, but I have to punch it under that branch in front of me. And trying to punch it, I wound up topping it. But it is a par 5. I can recover here. I can even get up and down for birdie. So only 85 yards to go. I got my 56 degree. And you'll see I make a good swing on it here. This is right over the top of the flag. Looked really good. Was a little deep, so I probably got 12, maybe 15 feet coming back. Guys, very important to fix those ball marks. Keep these greens from as smooth as possible. And this looked like it was just going to go right in. Nice straight putt, but it veered off to the right at the end. And unfortunately, we'll have to tap in for a par on this very birdieable hole, especially playing at 440. Moving on to the next hole, only 285. So you guys might be saying, why not hit driver? The target up there is very small. If you're really hitting it to like a 20-yard wide fairway. And I'm not that confident with my driver right now. So I opted for the 4-iron, hit it probably about 210 out there. Now I just have a little 3/4, half, 56. Once again, I'm using that zoom in instead of the shot trace. You can see it bouncing there. Well left of the flag. So this was a birdie hole for sure, but that was sort of a sloppy approach there. So we have 25, 30 feet. Now we're just kind of in a position to lag it up there and get out of here with our par. Moving on to the 7th hole, only 114 yards, small little green, hitting my 52. This will get me to the middle of the green. Pin is on the back ledge, which really isn't accessible. It's a hard one to get to. So I opt to just hit to the middle of the green. And you see me repairing the pitch mark here. So now I have an uphill putt, probably about 18 feet or so, 15, 18 feet for birdie, and I did not hit that hard enough. See, it's a lot of slope going up that hill. And so I still have about 2.5, 3 feet left. And I'm sort of rushing here to get everything done before sunset, and that's not smart. So we'll drop a shot there, unfortunately, on the 7th hole. Moving on to the 8th, another shortish par 4, 294, but you can't really turn a ball around the corner and get it to the green. And if you don't, you blow it through into the water way out there. In fact, I was concerned that 6-iron might go through the fairway because I hit it really well, actually. So now I just have 115 yards left. And I'm using a pitching wedge instead of my 52, and that's because that pin is on the front. It's kind of a false front. So if I put any spin on a 52 and brought it in there and hit it pin high, I'd probably spin off the front. I'd have 30 yards to go. So instead I have about 30, 35 feet from the back right portion of the green, which isn't ideal, but it's still a putt. And guys, I thought this was going to drop. I couldn't believe it. I haven't made a putt all day. Honestly, was a 5-6 footer on number 1. Everything else has been a tap in. So here we are on to hole number 9, par 4, almost 400 yards. I'm looking for a little draw, and I get a slight fade. So this is going to barely stay inside that tree on the right, but it pitches into that rough. Now I have 142 yards. Normally I hit like a 9-iron, but this was kind of a fly or lie, and I dug it out with a pitching wedge. It catches maybe the back fringe and hops over. It just had a lot of heat on it going through there, so I'm way past here. Just pitching this over that little mound in front of me. I actually had a decent amount of green to work with, so this wasn't a terrible result. And for this par, I thought this was going to be really short, and it just kept going. Then I thought for a second it might go in, but no, just like everything today, it didn't go in. So we'll tap in for bogey today on number 9. So this winds up being a +3 or 38. Guys, more vlogs coming. Please like, please subscribe. Have a great day. Thank you.